The internet is convinced that Blue Ivy is part of the Illuminati.
A new Netflix trend is causing couples to cheat.
And we're getting to the bottom of your unhealthy social media habits on today's episode of Completely Weekly.
What's up, you guys? Welcome back to another episode of Completely Weekly. I am here with all of my friends, and we have a jam-packed show for you guys. So much is coming up in the show, and if you want to skip ahead, you could do that by using the description section below. We are talking about Bella Hadid speaking out about her ex-boyfriend, The Weeknd.
And we're talking about PewDiePie being dropped by Disney, Maker Studios. There's so much drama there.
Plus, a new Netflix trend is causing couples to cheat.
And because, you watch the show every week, we always do a Clickbait Storytime, and there's some pretty epic stories this week, and one may involve poo or something.
Oh my gosh. We're also doing Good Week, Bad Week, but first, we have got to talk about the internet being convinced that Blue Ivy is a part of the Illuminati. So we all know that Beyonce is no stranger to this whole Illuminati conspiracy thing. The internet has been convinced that she's a member for a while now. Not only is she definitely famous enough to be considered to be a part of the Illuminati, but many people have pointed out that she's got a thing for making hand triangles, and it's definitely a big sign of the secret society. So there's a few different points that people have made connecting Blue and Beyonce to being a part of the Illuminati. It's kind of crazy when you think about it. I know Erin's all fired up about it.
Very passionate about the Illuminati.
But the first thing involving Blue, conspiracy theorists were quick to point out that Blue and Ivy are an acronym for Born Living Under Evil, Illuminati's very youngest.
Is that what IVY stands for?
Well,
okay,
Blue,
allegedly.
Ivy together. And then secondly, Blue Ivy spelled backwards is Ulab Yivi, which the significance of that is that that is actually what's thought to be Satan's daughter's name in Latin.
Oh, really?
No. Wait, so Satan...
Now that kind of changes, that's like, I believe that. Like, that changes everything. The acronym thing, I was like, you can make an acronym out of anything.
That's true.
But the name of Satan's daughter,
spelled backwards?
That's
I'm sorry, am I the only one that
weird.
didn't know Satan had a daughter?
Yeah, well, it's because he doesn't.
He doesn't?
I really don't.
Like,
You
does he
saw
have a
this
wife?
as us. He has a really
Does
big.
he have a wife and
He has a really
stuff?
big wing.
Like,
I don't know.
no.
I think he has multiples.
Well, obviously this is coming down from Beyonce because a lot of people seem to think that Beyonce is one of the reigning queens of the Illuminati.
Like, literally, she's the one who always has the most Illuminati talk surrounding her.
Rihanna has
she's the queen of the Illuminati.
Rihanna has dubbed herself
Allegedly.
as like the Illuminati princess, but I feel like Beyonce is definitely the queen of, and that being said, her daughter would then hence be automatically a part of the Illuminati. You had some weird theories about
Oh my
this.
gosh. So I know the Illuminati is real. I just know it is. First of all, secret societies are a thing. Like, people know about them in our culture. And I know that the Illuminati, I watched this documentary one time where a car driver of a bunch of really influential people in the United States, he wouldn't say who, he was driving them around for years and years, and he knew of their secret conversations about the Illuminati, about the Antichrist, about all these celebrities who they were bringing in, giving them money, giving them funding, giving them exposure, giving them opportunities so that they could further push the satanic or the Illuminati agenda by the hand signals, by all the things that we've been talking about.
My question to Erin, though, was what do they want? What do they want to control, and how are they portraying this?
What's their biggest goal?
They want world domination. They want an exclusive group of people to have all the money and all the power and all the control. It's like the reason why Rihanna is a part of it and she's the princess is because Jay-Z groomed her to be that and said, hey, if you sell your soul to the devil, then I'm gonna give you this opportunity to make all the money in the world. You'll never need anything else, and that's why she's doing it. But I don't think everybody is good enough to be in the Illuminati.
I was gonna say, like,
you are chosen.
I want all of us to be rich and powerful. Then
you got crazy
you have to
celebs
sell your
and-
No, I don't want to sell anything to no one.
How does one actually sell their soul.
I
Like,
think
you
you
know what
have
I'm
to be
saying?
chosen, and
By
then I
who?
feel like I don't know the secret society of Illuminati.
It's just like a normal relationship. It's like if I want to be in a relationship with you, you say, "Hey, all right, I want to be with you. Do you want to be
And
with
then you
me?"
have
And
to
you say
work at
yes,
it.
and then you're in a. That's like a verbal
Wait,
agreement.
you sold your soul to
It's
your
kind of
boyfriend
like
or
something
husband.
else I've heard a lot about that I'm too afraid to talk about.
Marriage?
No, another secret society. Well, that's
Oh.
not so secret.
Oh, I already said it like
Anyways,
5 seconds ago.
what?
Out loud. Scientology.
video?
Yes, but I'm
Oh.
too afraid to talk about it because I don't want them coming for me.
They're not
I
coming.
think it's too
Anyways.
late. I think they're coming for us right
A
now.
lot of people are comparing Beyonce's performance at the Grammys to the likings of the Illuminati. I know that she has hinted or talked about the Illuminati most recently in her song Formation, where she said, "Y'all haters corny with that Illuminati mess. I know, I heard it. I'm here for you guys." But in this performance at the Grammys, a couple of points that have been brought up is the audio talking over the sound that was playing out subliminal messages. that
it
were,
was?
Well, supposedly.
What
This
is
I'm
is
this?
not
what-
gonna
like-
lie. Well, no, but when I was watching a
there.
performance, I mean, I love Beyonce, and I was like, yes, queen. But part of me was like, are we like starting a new religion, or like it was really
It felt
intense.
very
Yeah.
culty. It really
was
did.
very culty,
I know
yeah.
Beyonce fans are gonna come at me for that, but I feel like it felt very, I don't want to say satanic, but very
Well, yeah.
Worship.
worshipish.
Also, we're
Godlike.
empowering to women, right? That was the point. Like we
Right.
are, you know.
Yeah, and also I also
empowering
feel
each
like
other.
she is making a statement with this too, because people always say like, oh, she's the queen of the Illuminati and blah blah blah, and they're like
Well,
untouchables.
Interesting that you say that, because a lot of people are comparing her look at the Grammys. We have a photo. They're comparing that to the Queen of Illuminati. Her name, I don't want to mess it up. I'm not going to try pronouncing it. People
like
dub her Kali
Kali.
or something else. And if you look at them side by side, you really do see the resemblance.
Maybe she's trolling us.
I
Maybe
think
she's
a lot of
like,
people are
Guys,
stretching.
I love the outfit. It literally
Yeah.
just looks like an amazing, intricate, like super
But it
cool
does
outfit. Like
symbolize the Queen of Illuminati.
we can compare this to like the Aztec goddesses back in the day. I
Sure.
mean, there's
Right.
nothing.
I
crazy to
get
the
like
outfit.
Mother Teresa vibes too,
Yeah.
like, and I think that was the whole.
What Mother Teresa have you seen?
Well, I mean, like from
like
the
the
actual
queen.
performance, not from the outfit,
Right.
but from her actual
I was like,
performance.
Well, there were
With, like,
also-
the garden
And like
people
the Virgin
bowing
Mary,
to
because she
her.
has the little veil over her
There
head.
are also crazy like circles forming around her of women
Yeah.
praising her. We also have a photo of that. It's crazy. The women are bowing down to her.
Again, because
Look
it's
at
like
this.
queen,
Yeah.
it's like
And
women
I get-
power.
I
Yeah,
get-
but she's a human being, and it seems like everybody treats her like she is a god.
No, I agree with
now,
that.
I'm a huge Beyonce fan. I really feel like there's no one in entertainment like her. Thanks, Illuminati. But I do feel like there is a point where we become too obsessed with someone that we literally idolize everything they say and everything
Totally.
they do, and we want to worship them at
and
their
they can
feet.
do no wrong.
My thing about this
It's just a
performance,
little
though,
weird.
is that she was playing into that. She was playing into that she is the queen. Literally, people were bowing down to her.
Right,
She was
yeah.
walking around the stage in this iconic fashion, which I'm no hate to Beyonce. I think
Okay,
that's
so
great.
question:
Great.
What was up with the chair thing? Was that just
I
part
have
of the
no
show,
idea.
or like
Yeah.
is there like a message
But like
behind
literally,
it?
when
I'm
I
sure
saw
there's
that
a
chair go
message.
down and I saw her stomach like on top of my like heart fell into my butt. I was like, somebody pick her up. She's pregnant.
I was like,
Something's
is,
gonna
is Chris
happen.
Angel there? Is he like doing his thing?
But what didn't you tell me though that someone was saying that during this performance at the Grammys that Blue Ivy, it was a part of her initiation into the Illuminati because she was like throwing up hand signals or something in
Right.
the audience.
Well,
girl
if you're looking in
Really?
the audience, if you go back to the show footage, Jay like throws up a sign like this to
Right,
Beyonce,
right.
which I know this could be stretching. I'm not saying it's fact, but I'm saying he threw up a sign like this, and people are saying those are the devil horns, and
Yeah.
that he is praising her in a satanic way,
Oh, this is
which
so
Blue
bizarre.
Ivy was involved, and then I guess to be initiated into the Illuminati, there's some sort of public.
Yeah, the carpool
Humiliation.
karaoke with James Corden.
Okay,
Crazy
when
was like,
I
"Go,
looked over
go."
to Blue Ivy, I saw her playing with her. It looked like a Hello Kitty purse. Was I the only one that noticed the Hello Kitty purse? And she's like messing with her little purse with the other little girl that she was
Yeah.
with. That's all I saw.
Look, I believe that Illuminati's a thing. I don't know how involved Beyonce or
Yeah.
Blue Ivy are in the whole
thing.
thing, but it's a thing that's happening. I wanted to talk
It's
about
happening.
it.
It's such
happening.
an interesting conversation, right? Because there's so many different ways to talk about it. We know that something like it exists. We don't actually know anything.
I just
about
don't know if all of the comparisons or going through somebody's performance and taking every little thing that they do and comparing it to saying that is association
Right.
with the Illuminati is something that you can
Stretching
say is
it.
accurate. I feel like we really are stretching. However, on the other end, I feel like if anyone were to be in the Illuminati, it would be somebody like
I mean,
Beyonce.
her Super Bowl performance where she threw this up and was like looking around, like it was like an intentional moment, which I know was like this was the symbol for Jay-Z's like clothing line or whatever. But it was like a really strange thing. This was like back several years ago when she did the Super Bowl. But I think she's in it. I think she's in it.
Maybe that's part
I
of her
don't
thing,
love
though.
her
Don't
any
they do
less.
this too with their hands? I'm sorry,
Well,
but I
that's
always.
because it symbolizes the Illuminati logo, which is that pyramid.
Which is on our
Don't we
dollar
have
bill.
I was gonna say, don't we have that on our money?
On our dollar bill because all the
you
important people
guys.
in our country are
Yeah.
in the
All right, you
Illuminati.
guys, we could talk about the
This
Illuminati.
forever. We should have like
all
a special completely
long.
weekly
We
entitled
should.
Dissecting the Illuminati.
Right.
and
that down.
celebrities that are involved.
Yeah.
If you want us to go in depth in that, let us know. We will do a special episode just for you guys and we'll be very informed. But I do want to move along to Bella Hadid, who is speaking candidly about her breakup with The Weeknd, and this was in Teen Vogue. It was very interesting to me because she said a lot of quotes about her relationship, including that she'll always feel it very heavily, saying it's been hard for a while, saying that love hurts, but she'll pull through. What I thought was the most interesting was that she said, I'll always respect him and I'll always love him. Sometimes you want to be sad about it or handle it differently, but at the end of the day, you never want to burn a bridge that you fought so hard to build.
Yeah.
So I really liked the last quote saying that you don't want to burn a bridge that
Right.
you worked so hard to build, because I think that is a very good point. I feel like why be in a relationship with somebody if you would hate them afterwards? I know Erin feels a little differently than I do. Like, I feel like if I spent 4 years of my life with somebody and I thought they were a good person the whole time I was with them, I would like to maintain thinking that they're a good person at the core.
But above
after
all,
leave them.
Ryland, I think what we see here is a very, very, very mature girl. Like, no, I mean, most of us,
Yeah.
we break up with someone, we're like, F you,
I
and
feel like
this and that.
she's handling
There's
it
a lot of hate.
in the public maturely.
Yeah.
But I mean, I feel like she's just handling it maturely in general. We haven't seen, I mean, yeah, she did a diss or here and there to Selena Gomez or whatever, or allegedly, but we haven't really seen her be, you know, be immature about it.
I mean, in comparison to Justin Bieber, she's doing pretty
That's what
damn
I'm saying.
well.
Like, usually you're bitter when, you know, you break up with someone, especially when it's a famous person, and especially when they run off to one of your alleged friends or whatever.
Well, I would say the Hadid sisters handle themselves
Yes.
well in the
Yeah,
spotlight.
or they have
Absolutely.
good PR people behind them.
Yeah, I don't think everyone can do this. I think because it's more of a business move for her, I think, than an emotional, personal move, because she can't really burn a bridge because she has a lot of friends in common with these people. They might have to end up working together. I mean, my goodness, right after they broke up, she walked at the Victoria's Secret
Yeah.
fashion show and he was singing right next to
Yeah,
her.
can
So
you
she
imagine?
knows that they're going to be coming in contact again and again and again. And so I think I do value her opinion, not wanting to burn a bridge that you've built, but I think IRL with us regular people, not that you should burn bridges, but I do think you should cut ties,
Right,
because
of course.
we had a whole conversation about like whether or not you should still be following an ex on social media when you're dating someone else, and I really feel like you shouldn't, because it just opens the door for things that maybe don't make other people feel
Yeah.
well.
Drama.
We were
So-
talking about this the other
Yeah.
day, Erin and I specifically, and I said, should you follow an ex on social media once you start dating somebody else? And what I started thinking is that it's a weird situation, because once you get super close with somebody in a relationship, then you're in bed with them, and what do you do in bed? You scroll on social media,
Yeah, how
and then your
awkward.
new relationship is seeing all of your previous relationships. So do you think that should be considered cheating?
I do. I think it's emotional.
It's
cheating.
definitely emotional cheating, especially like if you have just come out of a relationship too. It is, even if you have zero feelings left for your ex, it is totally human nature to check up on that person.
Yeah.
And once you are looking at them and like formulating thoughts about what they're up to or who they're hanging out with,
If they're still together.
exactly, you are automatically, in my opinion, emotionally cheating
But
already.
then if you're on the other end of the relationship, say I broke up with somebody and I unfollow them. If I'm then that person and see that I unfollowed them, is that rude? Because I feel
No,
like
it's not
unfollowing
rude.
somebody's
It's
a big
proof
thing.
that you have moved on. It's proof
Yeah.
that you no longer care about this
But
relationship.
what if your relationship just didn't work out?
And that's fine, but like if it didn't work out, it didn't work out for a reason,
Yeah.
and relationships are formed on friendships.
Yes.
So I
Yeah,
feel
wouldn't
like
you still want to maintain?
no,
that
I
relationship?
think
because it opens up a door to
Yeah.
drama,
Yeah,
like
yeah, yeah.
unnecessary
Drama.
drama, especially
Right.
when you're trying to
No, you're
move
fine.
on and start fresh with a new person.
I
That's
think
why.
that
I agree.
you should unfollow that person too for your own personal benefit.
Yeah.
Like you need to start fresh. And like I got unfollowed by an ex and I was really upset about it.
See?
And, okay, so I texted him and I asked him what his deal was because I was like, I thought we were good. Like I thought everything was great. Like what are you doing? And he said, I spoke too soon. It is too painful for me to see you out with your friends. And I was so sad to see that. And I was like, oh my gosh, I totally understand. Take all the time that you need. Because at the end of the day, like if you break up with someone, you want what's best for them too. And it doesn't matter if you guys ended on mutual, especially seeing your ex-boyfriend now dating someone else. It's gonna hurt no matter.
It doesn't feel
Yeah.
good to see. Yeah.
And that girl, even though she sounds mature, she sounds sad.
She admitted it.
sounds-
She said, I'm very sad.
Behind
And-
the scenes, she's like, Selena, that B word.
Of course,
like, I
Well,
can't
and
stand
she's
her.
justified, you
Wouldn't
know?
we all? We would all
But
be doing the same
what I
thing.
really think is I feel like Selena and The Weeknd are a PR stunt. They're being like they're paying each other to be with each other. I think The Weeknd called Bella and was like, "Hey, girl, listen,
Erin.
I have to do this because we're doing this PR thing." I think Bella knows it's a PR thing.
But that
and I
sucks
think
for
she's
Bella
okay with
if
it.
her relationship with The
she
Weeknd were
did,
real.
Right.
Right, she did unfollow Selena. So
Yeah.
that meant
But
she was
she's
a little
still
hurt.
following The Weeknd, and that's why this
Well,
whole
that's
thing
because
came
I
up.
don't know. That's because she
I don't
still
think
feels
it's a PR
love
stunt.
for him.
I really don't.
I don't know.
I
it's
feel
really
like
tricky.
it would be a PR stunt if he happened to be single. But I feel like if he was in a relationship with Bella and really liked her or was in love with her, I don't think he would dump somebody he loved to be in a PR relationship.
No. I definitely think their
I
breakup
do.
was real. Like the breakup happened, but it was a really quick
Return,
Turnaround.
yeah.
It was a very quick turnaround.
So I don't know, but I mean it happens.
You guys, I
To the
know
best of
someone
us.
in Hollywood who works with these people, and so many relationships are so fake.
I
I mean, I
know.
could reveal all of them to you, but that would just take the fun away from
No, I think agencies, like
They
if two
do.
people are with the same agency, they come to the actor or star or YouTube personality and they say, "Oh, date this person because it will help both of you on the up and up." And that's
Yeah.
just
Right.
That's
how
just
it
how it
works.
is, you know. Anyway,
Anyways.
moving on. Speaking of YouTube people, PewDiePie, you guys, has been making lots of headlines in the last, I guess, like 6 to 8 months. He's really been popping off hardcore. This time it's pretty bad because Disney, who has owned Maker Studios, just bought Maker Studios. Maker's dropping PewDiePie from their network, which is a really big deal, because he just released several videos, and in those videos he's making some controversial statements, some anti-Semitic jokes, and people are not loving it. And not only has Maker dropped him, but YouTube Red has also dropped his show, and it's starting to look really bad
Well,
for
and
PewDiePie.
Google pulled him from their preferred advertising.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
he's
Oh,
not
man.
going to get
It's crazy.
the sponsorships that he probably once had or would get. So this is a big turn for him. This isn't just one small scenario. There's a bunch of companies, a bunch of brands who don't want to be associated with him at all right now. And his audience is feeling a certain kind of way about it. We've talked about it on DHR a couple of times, and his audience seems to really be coming to his defense and saying that people just don't get him, that he is making fun of some situations, he doesn't mean it, but a lot of people are taking offense.
Well, I think the media is quick to jump on something. They see a headline and then they go in and they do some quick research, find some one-liners that they can take and blow out of context and blow up.
And especially media who doesn't necessarily know his style of comedy or
Right.
his right.
So the video that was in question was this video that he made that had anti-Semitic content inside of it. He actually paid some people to make signs that said "Kill the Jews."
Death to all Jews.
Oh, death to all Jews.
Yeah.
And his whole video was actually to prove a point that people will do anything for a quick buck. So PewDiePie is one to go very far, to be very out there, and he made this video showcasing that people would do anything. So he hired these people online, they did it, they were dancing, holding the signs, it was crazy.
He also dressed up as Jesus and said, and in the video said Hitler did nothing wrong.
Yeah.
So
So
I mean,
what was
it's
the point of him
extreme.
doing that again? So he did this to prove what though?
Well, every video that he makes is kind of to prove a different theme. So he does do crazy, outlandish things, but they're always for a bigger picture of something else. And so these headlines, they're not incorrect in picking up these stories saying X, X, and X, but at the same time, they're not actually looking at the context of the video.
Right.
They're blowing the one thing out of proportion and taking every time that has happened and blowing it up.
There were a total of 9 videos, by the way. They
Which I was
had
gonna
over
say.
20 million views. He has since taken them down. And he has since kind of apologized. He released a pretty lengthy statement addressing all of this. I'm going to read a really small blip of this. He said, I understand that these jokes were ultimately offensive. As laughable as it is to believe that I might actually endorse these people, to anyone unsure on my standpoint regarding hate-based groups, no, I don't support these people in any way. But this came after he was dropped by
Right.
Disney and
Yeah,
after he
so
was dropped by YouTube.
Just a little
So
too
my
late.
question is, when you mess up like this, I get it. You're trying to prove a point, whatever. So you make a video, you F up, and then, okay, I'm sorry. But 9 videos, like, it took 9 videos for you to finally realize that you're portraying the wrong message or potentially putting yourself in a place where you could be dropped by people that are paying your bills.
Well, he's done this before. He
Okay.
said the N-word a couple of months ago. It was a really big ordeal. I think we might even talked about it on this show. He said some pretty controversial things, some racist things about Lily Singh in the past, and so this isn't the first time. I think he has been given second and third chances by some of these brands. I think they let some of that slide because they know that it is clickbaity. People just love to jump to conclusions. But like you said, 9 videos is a lot.
So 9 times comments like this were mentioned. I would still say context, context, context. I think he deleted 3 of them.
Okay.
He is the most popular YouTuber with 53 million subscribers and more than 14 billion views. So I do think it's sad to see a company like YouTube backing away from essentially the face of, because YouTube is known to celebrate people
Different
for
opinions.
Yeah, they literally are popular because people have an unfiltered opinion, and that's not something they get from mainstream media.
Did they take his whole channel down, or are they just canning his
no,
the second
The second season.
So
but he
that's
still
his
has
YouTube
an
Red.
account, right?
So he still has a YouTube show. They can't like take him off of YouTube.
Right.
What they did is they canceled the second season of his YouTube Red show.
Okay.
And then Google took him out of their preferred advertising
Okay.
list.
So then-
So he's gonna make a lot less money
Right.
per view, because based on the standing of who you are, you make XX and X per view
Right.
per video.
Okay, so here's my thing. If that is who you are, you want to be controversial, you want to go there and you want to make points that are really going to resonate and make an impact, then you should be okay with not making any money, not being able to work with brands, and getting dropped by Disney. It's Disney. It doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure out that would never ever fly with Disney or any of the things
Well,
that
the thing
Disney
is, it
owns.
used to be Maker Studios, and Disney recently bought the
But
brand.
that's common knowledge.
I don't think. I think what he's apologizing for is how far he took his examples that he was trying to showcase.
Right.
Because he wasn't saying that he believes or stands by any of these standpoints that the media is blowing out of context. Rather, he's using examples that are way too far out there. I'm not agreeing with what he's doing in any way, but I'm saying I do think the backlash was a little too far.
Harsh.
I get why brands are backing away from him. If I was a big brand, I think I would also distance myself, but this isn't going to necessarily hurt him too much. It's going to like hurt him getting a second book deal
Right.
or getting a second season of his YouTube Red show, but people are still going to watch him. With his library alone, so many people are watching him that he's going to make a decent amount of money no matter what. Like he's going to make more money than all of us, even if he doesn't make a video
It's just
this
such
year.
a bummer. The point of showing that people will do anything for money, including like be so offensive and hurtful to other races and sexualities, is a great point. Like that's a thing that people should see. It just really sucks that he took it to that level.
And
to
I do
prove
think
it.
there is a way to be yourself and be honest about how you feel and open on YouTube without being racist
Offensive.
and like really hateful towards people. I think there is a way you can be honest and truthful about how you feel without shaming cultures and like being hateful. And I just think that you can still be yourself.
Honestly, the bad press, though, only hurts everyone on YouTube because
Absolutely.
so many people are watching YouTube. A lot of YouTubers get more views than a television show, but advertisers are still not paying the money that they pay to be advertised on TV, and that's because they're just not sure of what people are saying.
Well, and brands will get scared because they're like, okay, they see YouTubers like really pushing the envelope, and like, you know, you see all those social experiments. And I was listening to the radio a couple weeks ago, and they were like, oh yeah, this kid stopped traffic and threw a TV off this bridge or whatever. Turned out to be a freaking YouTube stunt, and they were bashing YouTubers. He's like, this is the kind of stuff we see all the time happen now. People getting kicked out of malls, people scaring people, pranking, and it turns out to be all for a video, and then everyone on that bridge had to sit on that bridge for 2 hours.
That's
What's
so bad.
interesting about this whole PewDiePie thing, though, is his subscribers have skyrocketed since. He's getting like 20, 30,000
a lot of people
subscribers
probably,
a day.
again, YouTubers, everyone has their own audience, so people may not know who I am or who Ryland is, and then we create a scandal, and all of a sudden everyone knows who we are. So then,
But they'll jump on that scandal
That's what I'm
without
saying,
knowing the
they're
context of your videos.
but what's gonna happen, I honestly have not watched him, and all of a sudden I'm on his channel giving him views, and then perhaps, I don't know, maybe I subscribe because I end up liking his point of view.
Or you want to see the next scandalous video that happens before you read the headlines.
I think I'm also on the more tame side of this in support of PewDiePie because I'm guilty of also going on DHR before I really knew what I was talking about
heck yeah.
and going with mainstream media and what they were saying. So before I actually did my research, I was opening my mouth about it, and then I go into the context of all of these things, and while what he was doing was very over the top and not brand friendly in any way,
His
in
intention
anyone's
was
point
totally
of
different.
view, his intention was different, but people still received it in a different way, and that's all that matters.
That's
at
because
the
our
end of the day.
society is so sensitive right now.
Absolutely.
I
They
had
are
my-
so
Heck yeah.
sensitive to everything, and usually the people who are sensitive are the people who are like 10 years old in someone's basement and don't know anything about like the real world. So I think a lot of the sensitivity that the internet has brought us is to blame for some of this overreaction.
I
to
agree.
this.
Anyways, all right, I want to move on.
Let's move on.
Let's make it a little more light in here. Talk about Netflix. The new Netflix trend is causing couples to cheat.
Oh, I love this.
Like literally cheat, right?
All right,
like
so-
Netflix and
I
chilling
wore
with
my
someone
Netflix
else.
shirt today.
I actually was going to comment on that.
my
Netflix,
gosh.
nachos, and naps.
Oh,
Erin.
it's sure it's
Basically
everything.
my life.
It's so good.
Okay, so break it down.
Well, if it's hard for you to watch a show with your significant other, well, then you are not alone. So Netflix, they released a new study saying that 46% of streaming couples have cheated, meaning that if you have a show you always watch with your significant other, your boyfriend or girlfriend, 46% of them have cheated. And when their couple or their partner isn't home or asleep or whatever, they just can't help themselves but watch the next episode
Can't stop binging.
without
Without
their
their
partner.
Oh, gotcha. So that's the cheating we're talking
Well,
about.
this is the
Yeah.
thing, right? Netflix is so good at creating like original shows now that are so binge-worthy that they're designed to leave you on a cliffhanger that you have
You
to go
can't
and
keep
and
watching.
they
But-
start automatically.
I'm
Yeah.
not gonna
But-
lie, I got mad with my significant other because I was like, you watched the next episode of Nauticals without me?
And that's
I
the
was
thing.
so upset. I was like, how dare you?
If you're in a relationship or have been in a relationship, you know that if you have a show with that person, it is
means
not
something.
okay if they skip
Listen,
ahead.
Listen, so I watched the entire season of Stranger Things without my husband, just because I thought he may not be into it. Like, I convinced myself of that. And then I got home and I told him, I was like, honey, I binge watched Stranger Things. He's like, you watched Stranger Things without me? So I had to rewatch.
big deal.
I had, my punishment was to
rewatching.
rewatch it. So if you're a cheater,
And nothing's
just
worse than
know-
that.
I know,
yeah,
because
she
you
had
know
to
it's gonna
rewatch with
happen.
me too.
So that's what you have to do if
All
you're
right.
a cheater.
So Netflix, they surveyed 30,000 people, and the top shows that tempt customers to cheat are Narcos, like you said,
told you.
Stranger Things, like you said,
Yep.
Orange is the New Black, House of Cards, and Black Mirror. So 60% of customers said that they would cheat more if they could get away with it, meaning that they probably wouldn't have to watch the episode again
Yeah.
if they were caught. 80% of cheaters are repeat offenders. 44% have cheated more than 3 times,
Oh my God.
and 45% of cheaters are keeping their habits secret. So, meaning that they would watch the show and then just watch it again and suck it up
Never
because
tell
they
you.
couldn't.
I feel like that's the
help
only
the
way to do it
binge.
with me. I'd be like, you have to pretend like you haven't seen it because it kind of takes the excitement out of
Yeah, it does
you know?
too, yeah.
You want
Watching
that
it with
person to
someone, yeah.
like experience it with you.
So 85% of cheating was unplanned. They just couldn't help themselves. They were bored. They were on
Unplanned.
Netflix. And then 25% of the cheating happens when their other partner is asleep. So
That
they
is
really
so
went in on
funny.
this survey. My favorite tidbit of all of this was that 40% of customers in Hong Kong believe that Netflix cheating is worse than infidelity. in real
Worse?
life.
How?
Oh, okay, we're taking it too far.
I don't know.
Those people must not be in relationships.
I brought up
Yeah.
that point last night, and Shane was like, no.
Yeah, that's
He was like, I
the
would
most
much rather
insane.
walk in on you watching our show than walk in on you with another person.
So what we're
Yes.
saying is Netflix is creating arguments amongst couples. Remember when
Yeah.
Facebook first came out and like that was the thing? Oh, like Facebook is creating people to divorce and like causing people to break up. Now it's Netflix.
Well, here's the thing. It's great press for Netflix, right? After reading this article, all of you are going to go watch something on Netflix
Yeah,
today.
you're like, man, their
and
shows
my
must
shirt
be really
too.
good.
It's like,
do you
I
gu-
mean...
Do you guys think your significant other is Netflix cheating?
You know what? Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
He definitely is because I always fall asleep
Really?
before him. Yep.
Yeah.
Mine's YouTube cheating. We have
Oh,
like
that too,
YouTubers
yeah.
that we watch every
Yeah.
day.
Yeah.
Together?
And I get so mad. Yeah. And since he doesn't necessarily have an office job, I'll come home and I know when he's watched, and he does it almost every day, and I get so mad. I was like, well, I would have watched too, but now I have to find a time where I'm alone to watch.
But hey,
what
if it's
I
a
watch.
really good video, it's worthwhile watching
That is
twice.
so
I can't.
funny.
I cannot. Sinead, what's next?
All right, you guys. Well, I mean, we're gonna talk about clickbait story time, right?
Ooh,
Yeah.
I'm scared of this one.
So let's talk about ourselves for a little bit, okay? All right, so this is the point of the show where we exploit ourselves. We take one for the team and talk about some really personal things that went down in our lives the past week. So, Erin.
Oh,
kick
I'm
us off.
starting?
Yeah.
Okay. I broke into the Grammys red carpet.
Ooh, you're looking bomb.
That
girl.
photo,
Guys,
guys.
filter lighting.
Okay, you guys, I was poisoned.
Interesting.
Wow.
Very, very scary.
Interesting. All right, I'll go next. I'm launching a clothing line.
And,
PewDiePie
and I
Ryland.
want all of the things.
Yeah, me too.
I want all of the
Uno.
products.
Viv?
Okay, mine is bad. My dog sharted on my face.
Ew.
while I was asleep.
Ew.
I know. It was. Don't ask. It was just.
One time
No.
my kid pooped on my pillow, so I feel you there.
What?
Oh.
Yeah, it was gross.
I hate when something like that happens, like when my dog poops on my bed. You can't sleep in it.
Your life is ruined.
You spend
when
the
that
whole night
happens.
like cleaning, and then you
yes.
don't ever sleep.
Scrambling for a brand new pair of sheets.
All right,
but
who do we want to choose, you guys?
Should we vote? So, I kind of want to hear Viv's.
no, I kind of want to hear yours.
I feel like I need to hear about
The
what,
Grammys,
like, the
right?
Grammys.
Like we
Yeah.
all
Like,
would
we're
want
all
to be
tired
there.
of
Well, we're
the
celeb
Grammys?
obsessed, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
Okay, well, I didn't see any celebs, but let me tell you what happened. So,
You went to the Grammys, you didn't see celebs.
No, well, okay, so we got to the Grammys. We had to pretty much beg every single person we knew to give us tickets. We finally got tickets. We were literally in the furthest seats to the ceiling that you could be, on the side. Like, literally,
I
there
saw
was...
those snaps. I was like, wait, why are they sitting up there? I was like,
Why are they locked in a
I know.
cage?
Shane goes,
I
they
was-
got all dressed up to sit in the
Yes!
back for no one to see them?
Yes.
When I saw your looks, I was like, that's Erin and Joss? Like, they look beautiful. But then I saw your snaps. I'm like, why are they up there?
And like
Literally,
Katy
like, behind
Perry
the
was
stage.
performing in like tennis shoes and like pants, and I was like, why is she wearing that and I'm wearing this? Like,
Your
what is-
Insta stories were like,
Okay, but you got in. So how did you
Okay.
guys sneak in?
Okay, so we had tickets. Like, we didn't actually break into the Grammys itself, but the place that they drop off the peasants is so far away, and we got way too dressed up for our own good. We had all these heels and like ridiculous clothes on. I was like naked underneath this dress, and so I'm like, oh my gosh, we're gonna have to walk forever. So we're at a stoplight in our Uber, and our Uber driver rolls down his window and says hello to the Uber driver next to him, and he knows him, and he's like, hey bud, how are you? And the guy's like, oh, I'm doing good. And I leaned over and I was like, sir, do you know how we can get to the red carpet entry? Because we don't want to walk. And the guy goes, actually, and he pulls out a card for our driver. He hands it to our driver. Driver puts it in the dash, and it gets us, basically pulls us right up to the red carpet where all the limos go to
that's
drop off
amazing.
celebrities.
So did you walk the carpet?
We didn't. I was afraid. You know what? I
Was
almost
the Uber
did.
car nice at least?
It was a black.
Okay, it was black. That's
Like, who am I?
black is
So
associated with
fancy.
elegance.
But we did get really close. We got to see the carpet. We didn't get to see the carpet at the Grammys is so huge.
Yeah.
We didn't get to see anyone on the carpet. But when we were leaving the event, we went through a hotel to get to an Uber stop, and there was a girl there who was watching us walk up, and she like leaned into like her mom, and she goes, "They're famous, but I don't know who they are."
Story of our life.
I was like, Yeah, that's
That's
probably
You
amazing.
should have
that's
said,
true.
you don't know who I am? Just look at me. You don't know who I am?
I don't know if I should go that far, babe.
Star.
She's like, no.
I'm Britney
Country singer?
Spears. Duh.
That's hilarious.
But we had a great time at the Grammys. The room was electric. The audio was so good. Everybody
Yeah.
sounded so good.
What's the Grammys? They better have voices and they better not be lip singing, you know?
Yeah.
So good. And, you know, I actually really loved Beyonce's performance live. It was incredible.
Well, that voice, though.
Just
I mean,
always.
she's
Yes.
so talented.
Yeah.
I'll give her that.
But yeah, it was like a real peasant Cinderella story, you know? We got dressed up, we went to the ball, and then we turned back into pumpkins
Hey.
or whatever, and I'm like scrubbing floors the next day, literally.
Next year's a new year, you know?
Yeah.
Love
Is
it.
it? Yeah, I don't
Awesome.
know. I don't know if they'll let us back in
That's a
anymore.
great story.
It was fun. But
Beautiful.
actually, the moral of that story is don't let people tell you no. All you have to do sometimes is ask people for what you want, and they'll just give it to you.
That is a
Even
good
if it's
point.
ridiculous and it's something that you think would never ever happen, like asking us to follow you on Twitter. Like, you know, it's probably not going to happen, but you might as well.
But you'll never get it if you don't ask.
You will never
Exactly,
get
yeah.
it. And sometimes someone messages me and says it's my birthday, and I'll follow them.
You might
it's
just
rare.
wear it on
It's
a good
rare.
day.
You miss
Follow.
100% of the shots you
Don't take. Yes.
Moral of the story. All right, let's move on. Vivian?
Oh yes, of course. Good week, bad week.
Yes.
What do you guys want first from me?
I like it. I like things bad. I'm feeling
Really?
dark and
No.
emo.
I like to
No.
hear the good news first.
Let's kick off with positivity, you guys.
Okay.
After God knows how many seasons, I think combined between The Bachelor and The Bachelorette, maybe 33 seasons, we finally have the first African American Bachelorette.
Rachel!
Yay! Rachel Lindsay is her name. She's a 31-year-old lawyer from Dallas, Texas. And this is amazing news. I mean, happy Black History Month to everyone. She did post her excitement on social media. You know, this was announced on a Jimmy Kimmel Live, I believe it was.
Yeah, it was. Uh-huh.
And it's great news. We're all so excited. The only tricky or confusing thing, which Riley and I were discussing, she is a contestant on The Bachelor. She hasn't yet been booted off.
Right.
But yet they just announced that she will be the Bachelorette. So she's basically going to start her own show. And so everyone's
Kind
like,
of a spoiler.
A spoiler.
It's a spoiler alert.
This is one of the most infuriating things that happened to me this week. I watched the first
Well, she could be a
season
contender,
of
right?
The Bachelor. I have never missed any minute of this show. I live, breathe, eat
Oh,
The Bachelor.
my gosh.
I swear to you guys, every Paradise season, Bachelor Pad, I've been there through everything. So for them to do this to me and announce something like this when it's literally right before hometowns.
I
okay?
know.
Oh my
What
Well,
are you
so
thinking?
I'm not in the show, but was she a contender to make it to the end?
Yeah,
Absolutely.
she's on the
She got
first
the
impression rose.
Nick
Which
is
doesn't mean
crazy about
anything,
her.
though, by the way.
Well,
First
fine.
impression rose doesn't, but they had so much chemistry.
Chemistry.
I'm in love with Rachel. Like,
Me
I
too.
would marry Rachel. I think I tweeted out like 2 weeks ago, if he doesn't marry Rachel, like, I want to, I'm available.
Yeah.
You are not available.
No, I will become available because she is so incredible.
Yeah.
She is.
She's a doctor or a lawyer?
She's
A
a
lawyer,
lawyer.
and I think
She's
the entire
Southern.
country feels the same way. They
In
fell in love with her, and that is
her.
why
Well, good. We'll
she
fall in
will.
love with her for a full season.
Exactly. So now she will find love, and I know obviously it's not going to be with Nick.
Yeah.
He's very
I
handsome, by the way.
wonder if the producers told him, listen, you got to cut off the feelings for her because we're actually bringing her back for Bachelorette.
Like you have a choice?
cannot choose her.
What if she was the choice and
What
then
if she
producers
was?
are
I
just
really
like,
feel like she could have been. They had so much
what
chemistry
if-
Yeah, they
together.
did.
What if he chooses the Bachelorette and then he goes on her show?
Or
and
she
breaks up
doesn't
with the one-
accept. What if she makes it to the last?
I thought about that, and
episode?
I
And he proposes and she doesn't accept his
Okay, well,
proposal.
if that is the case, then you will see blood drip out of my ears. Like that would be
Okay, so
like elevation.
we're gonna have to
changes.
tune
Oh
in
my
when the
gosh,
show
I can't.
premieres May 22nd on ABC. But there's bigger news, guys, behind this. The importance of the first African American Bachelorette comes after ABC's president has just been announced, and she's also the first woman who is an African American to become president for ABC program.
Yeah.
Yeah,
which
I
is
love
amazing.
that.
I love
Not
this.
only is she a woman,
Yeah.
woman, she is also African American, and I think it's beautiful.
And
Oh.
she's young, so I mean, the future is
Right.
just.
Yeah, and like
What
the
possibilities are
Disney
endless.
group just has so much like influence on mainstream media, like across the board. They own so many different channels, so I feel like it's a good step in the right direction. Hopefully, other people will also embrace diversity too.
So hopefully everybody gets over the spoiler and just.
no, but
No.
Wait, what's the bad news?
Yeah, serve us with the bad news.
The bad news. Okay, Karlie Kloss is getting so much hate on social media, and she had to apologize for cultural appropriation. So as we know, we all saw that she was on the cover of the March issue of Vogue magazine, where she's dressed like a Japanese geisha.
There it is,
And
right
here are the photos. I mean, she does look beautiful, but people are really, really upset about this. Here she is posing next to a sumo wrestler, and people are just really bothered. She's sipping tea. There, one of the main comments is like, why wouldn't you get a Japanese model or even just an Asian model, right? So she did take to Twitter to apologize. I'm sure she got so much hate. She says, "These images appropriate a culture that is not my own, and I am truly sorry for participating in a shoot that was not culturally sensitive. My goal is and always will be to empower and inspire women. I will ensure my future shoots and projects reflect that mission." Now, this isn't the first time Karlie had to apologize for something like this. Remember Victoria's Secret runway in 2012, I believe? She wore the Native American headdress, and she also had tweeted out saying, I support Victoria's Secret's decision to remove the outfit from the broadcast. So we basically saw it in the photos, but we never saw it on the actual runway when they aired the runway show. But what do you guys make of this?
Well,
I have mixed emotions about it, because I feel like the best form of, flattery is imitation, but I understand. And a lot of people are saying Japanese Americans are the ones that are offended, not necessarily like Japanese people.
of course.
I don't know. I'm like I have mixed emotions about this
My
one.
problem with this is that I feel like it's becoming such a trend to attack anyone and everyone if they're doing anything that doesn't reflect exactly
culture.
who they are. Like you said, I feel like imitation is the highest form of flattery. I don't know why we're so up in arms about something like this.
Because you can be.
I
Like, it's a trend.
I do get for this specific magazine, it was supposed to be the diversity issue. So I get that there's a little bit of roar there, and I understand and agree with that. I think if it's celebrating diversity, why not get a model that is accurate to what they are portraying?
Yeah.
But at the same time, I feel like this is a story that is never ending when there's so many different things on the internet that are so much more highly offensive and nobody's talking about.
Of course.
What I just find interesting is, where do you draw the line between inspirational and insulting? I think there can be a really fine line to walk there. And the internet has become this place of the self-appointed guardians of culture, where everyone wants to shame creators because they are experiencing or portraying a culture that they weren't born into. And regardless of the Karlie Kloss situation, because I do agree with you, if this was a diversity issue, like, stand for diversity and let that be what it is.
Yeah.
But to say, like, where do you draw the line? Like, I have a kimono that I wear going to bed every night.
Yeah.
If I go to a Native American tribe, which I am, half Native American, but if I bought my husband a pair of moccasins at a local vendor supporting that community and he wears them out in public, is that appropriation? Like, where do you draw the line? And I think the internet doesn't have a place where they draw the line. I think they get very offended and so sensitive about every single thing. And I think that's going to change because it's exhausting and people are getting tired.
It's so exhausting. It's like, you're white, you can't do this, you're black. Like, I was telling Ryland, I'm like, you know what? If like a supermodel, like I don't know, Adriana Lima, she's Brazilian, she goes and it covers a magazine in Mexico, I would feel like, yeah, heck yeah, like that's so cool. I would love to see her in a mariachi outfit, like sipping tequila, standing behind an agave plant. I would see that as like, heck yeah,
you're supporting my culture.
You're supporting my culture. You're embracing it. It doesn't mean that you're trying to
make fun of it.
No, or like feed into the stereotype, especially when these photo shoots are shot by like professional designers and photographers and you name it. So I see it more as like, look this is the culture. We're putting a model that's not Japanese in an outfit and she feels beautiful and we're embracing it. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe you guys are gonna comment, you know, something
Well,
else. But
it's
that's
crazy
all.
to me because Vogue has actually since removed
Yeah,
these
I know.
photos off
They
of
took 'em
their
all off.
website, and Carly was getting so much hate on social media that she felt the need to publicly apologize.
Right.
The internet has also spoken. Some people have tweeted. We have some images for you of the tweets as well. They were saying a few different things, like just imagine how many people had to sign off on this, and the fact that none of them were like, oh, maybe not our brightest idea, y'all. So they're mad about that. And then another person said, apparently no Japanese models were available for Vogue's diversity issue. Thank God Carly Kloss could fill in, obviously being sarcastic.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think a lot of these people are taking issue with it being a diversity issue. I think, although I do think people would still be upset if it wasn't a diversity issue
What
and
if
it
they
was
put her
just-
next to a Japanese model? I mean, would that have made things better?
Who knows? Like, I don't understand the internet. I think that personally, my line is drawn when I do something or say something or someone does something or says something that insults a culture. If you are making a mockery of that, if you are dressing up and doing something
If
embarrassing.
this were a parody or something.
Exactly.
Right.
Like, that to me is hurtful to a culture. I think, you know, I don't know, just dressing up and I don't know. I don't think it's that bad.
All right,
but-
you guys. Well, let us know what you think about this episode in the comment section below. Let us hear about your thoughts on the Illuminati, Netflix cheating, everything, and all of the above. You can follow everyone on social media. We got Sinead, Erin, Vivian. I'm, of course, Ryland, and you can follow Clevver at Clevver on all things social. Thanks for hanging. We will see you next Saturday.
Have a good weekend.
Bye. But wait, click to the left to see last week's episode of Completely Weekly talking about the most anticipated Grammy performances, or click to the right to see last week's episode of Rumor Patrol. I'm sure it's about Justin Bieber and Selena Gomez.